Chosen soul, welcome back to the community of the light. Before you watch another second of this video, I need you to understand something. 6 months ago, you made a decision that set a clock in motion. You did not know it at the time. You thought you were just choosing to heal, just choosing to step back, just choosing to protect your peace. But heaven saw something different. Heaven saw you entering a preparation phase for an encounter that has not happened yet. And everything you have done since that moment, every boundary you set, every healing session you attended, every journal entry you wrote, every prayer you whispered, it was all preparing you for something specific, someone specific, and they have been watching. Not God. He already knew the plan. Not angels. They were helping execute it. Someone from your past hired a private investigator to study your life over the past month. They wanted to know what you were doing in your isolation. They wanted evidence that you were either falling apart without them or thriving in ways that would make them feel irrelevant. What they got instead was something that has left the investigator shaken and the person who hired him terrified. Because the surveillance accidentally documented something neither of them were prepared to see: prophetic preparation. You were getting ready, and the footage proves it. If you have ever felt like you were preparing for something, but did not know what, drop the word "ready" in the comments right now. The investigator started this assignment with straightforward objectives: document daily activities, note any significant relationships, track emotional state through behavioral patterns, build a profile. Standard work. He had 30 days to complete the file, but by day 7, he realized this was not a standard case, because you were not living a standard life. You were living with intention he had never seen before, not the kind of intention that comes from ambition or performance. The kind that comes from someone who knows something is coming, and they are preparing to meet it with strength. Day 1, Monday morning. The investigator followed you to a therapy appointment. You go every Monday at 9 in the morning. Have for the past 5 months. He noted it in his file. Subject attends regular counseling, suggests ongoing mental health maintenance or crisis management. Standard observation. But what he did not put in his file, what he could not explain, was what he saw when you came out of that building an hour later. You were different, not happy, not sad, clear, like something heavy had been set down. You sat in your car for 10 minutes before driving away, just sitting, breathing, staring straight ahead. And then you pulled out a small notebook, wrote something, closed it, and drove home. That notebook became something he noticed in every surveillance photo after that. Always with you, always being written in, never left behind. Day 2, Tuesday afternoon. The investigator followed you to a bookstore. You walked straight to the self-help section, not browsing, searching. You picked up 4 books. He photographed the titles. Boundaries. When to say yes, how to say no. The body keeps the score. Adult children of emotionally immature parents. Set boundaries, find peace. You bought all 4. Walked to a coffee shop. Spent 2 hours reading and highlighting. The investigator watched through the window. Your focus was intense. You were not reading for entertainment. You were studying, taking notes, highlighting passages. At one point, you stopped, closed your eyes, took a deep breath, and wiped a tear that fell. Then you went right back to reading, like you were on a mission, like you had limited time to learn something crucial. Day 3, Wednesday evening. He followed you to a storage unit facility. You rented a small unit 6 weeks ago, according to his research. You went inside with empty hands, stayed for 45 minutes, came out with empty hands. He could not see what you were doing in there, but he made a note. Subject visits storage unit regularly. contents unknown, possible hiding assets, or evidence of secondary relationship. He was wrong on both counts. But he would not find that out until later. What the investigator did not know, what he could not have known, was what that storage unit contained. It was not assets. It was not evidence of another person. It was a closure room. Inside that unit, you had created a space for releasing the past. Every gift they gave you that you could not bring yourself to throw away, but could not keep in your home, every card, every photo, every memento of a relationship that no longer existed. You boxed it all up and stored it there, not to hold onto, to hold at a distance. And every Wednesday, you go there and you sit with it. You open one box, you look at one item. You remember what it meant when you received it. You feel whatever comes up, and then you speak out loud to the empty room. You say things like, "I release you from the meaning I gave you. You are just a thing now. You do not hold power over me anymore." And then you close the box, lock the unit, drive away lighter than you arrived. This was not hoarding. This was ritual. This was process. This was healing at your own pace with grace for your own humanity. Day 4, Thursday morning. You did something that made the investigator sit up and pay attention. You printed something, multiple copies. He watched through your window with a long-range camera, standard surveillance. You were at your computer, designing something, then printing, then putting pages into envelopes. 6 envelopes. Each one labeled with a name. He could not read the names from his distance, but he noted your face as you sealed each one. Not angry, not sad, peaceful, resolved. Like you were completing something important, you stacked the envelopes on your kitchen counter and you have not mailed them. They are still sitting there, waiting. Hit the like button if you have ever written letters you were not sure you would send but needed to write. Anyway, day 5, Friday afternoon, the investigator followed you to a department store, home goods section. You bought picture frames, 7 of them, different sizes. Then you went to a print shop and picked up photos you had ordered. He watched you in your car, going through them one by one. Some made you smile. Some made you pause. Some made you take a deep breath before moving to the next one. They were photos of you, solo photos. From recent months, you in different places, at the beach, in a park, at a coffee shop, all alone, all peaceful. You drove home and spent the rest of the evening framing them and hanging them throughout your apartment, replacing old photos. Photos where you were not alone, photos with people who were no longer in your life. You took every single one down and replaced them with images of your solitude, your healing. Your new chapter, day 6, Saturday evening. You invited 2 friends over. The investigator watched from across the street. Standard behavior, social interaction noted. But what happened during that visit was anything but standard. He saw you through the window, sitting in your living room with these friends, laughing, talking. But at one point, the conversation shifted. One of your friends pulled out a piece of paper, started reading something out loud, and the investigator saw your face change. Not upset, emotional, tears streaming, but you were nodding. Your friends were speaking and you were receiving. After they left, you stood at your window for a long time, looking out at nothing, or maybe looking at everything differently. He did not understand what just happened, but he documented it. What he could not have known was that your friends had just read you a letter they co-wrote. A letter detailing every way they had watched you grow over the past 6 months. Every moment they witnessed your strength. Every time you chose yourself when it would have been easier to go back. Every boundary they saw you set, every tear they held space for, every victory they celebrated with you. They wrote it all down because they wanted you to see yourself through their eyes, to know that your growth was not invisible, that your transformation was witnessed, that your courage was recognized. And as they read it, you realized something profound. You were not healing alone. You were being held by community even when you felt isolated. And that realization changed something in you. Day 7, Sunday morning. The investigator made a decision that changed everything. He broke into your apartment while you were at church, not proud of it, completely illegal, could lose his license. But his curiosity had become obsession. He needed to understand what he was watching. He had 20 minutes while you were gone. He went straight to your bedroom, looking for that notebook you carried everywhere. He found it on your nightstand, and when he opened it, everything clicked into place. It was not a diary, it was a healing timeline. Each page was dated. Each entry was a milestone. And as he read through it, he realized he was looking at the roadmap of your transformation. The first entry was dated 6 months ago, the day you decided to leave a toxic relationship, the day you chose yourself, and every entry after that was a marker of growth, boundary setting, healing work, prophetic moments. Month 1, today I told my therapist about the abuse. First time saying it out loud. I cried for an hour, but I said it. Month 2, I blocked their number. I deleted their photos. I am not going back. God, help me not go back. Month 3, I set a boundary with my mother. I said no. She was upset. I did not apologize. This is growth. Month 4, I feel them trying to reach out energetically. I know they are thinking about me. I know they are going to come back. God, prepare me for that moment. Month 5, I am writing letters to everyone who hurt me, not to send, just to release. Forgiveness is for me, not them. Month 6, I had a dream last night. They were standing at my door. I opened it. I was calm. I was bouncing. I was ready. I said what I needed to say, and I closed the door. I woke up knowing that moment is coming, and I will be ready. The investigator stood in your bedroom, reading your private thoughts, and he felt something he had not felt in his entire career. Shame, not just for breaking in, but for being part of a scheme to invade the privacy of someone who was doing the hardest work a human can do, healing, getting whole, preparing to face the person who broke them with strength instead of bitterness. But there was more. Tucked inside the notebook was a folded piece of paper. He opened it. It was a letter addressed to no one by name, but it was clear who it was for. And as he read it, he realized he was holding the thing the client wanted most access to, your inner world, proof of what you really felt. But what it said was not what they hoped for. To the person who broke me and will eventually come back. I want you to know that I have spent the last 6 months becoming someone you will not recognize. Not because I changed to spite you, but because I had to change to survive you. When you left, you thought you were leaving me shattered. And you were right. I was, but shattered glass, when melted down, becomes something new, something stronger, something that cannot be broken the same way twice. I know you are going to come back. I do not know when, I do not know how, but I know you will. Because people always come back when they realize what they lost. And when you do, you need to know some things before you knock on my door. First, I forgive you. Not because you asked, not because you deserve it, but because I deserve peace. And forgiveness is the key that unlocks the prison I was living in. I release you from the debt you owe me. I hand it to God. I will not carry it anymore. Second, forgiveness does not mean reconciliation. I can wish you well from a distance. I can pray for your healing without being part of it. I can release you without letting you back in. You do not get access to this version of me just because you knew the old version. That version died, and I am not resurrecting her for your comfort. Third, I have set boundaries that I will not cross. I will not explain them. I will not defend them. I will not negotiate them. They exist to protect what I have built in your absence, and if you cannot respect them, you cannot be here. Period. Fourth, I am not the same person you remember. I do not need you anymore. I do not need your validation. I do not need your approval. I do not need you to see my worth for me to know it is there. I have found my value in places you cannot touch and people you will never meet. And that version of me does not have space for who you used to be. Finally, when you come back, and you will, I want you to know that I am ready. Not ready to take you back. Ready to face you without falling apart. Ready to speak truth without shaking. Ready to set boundaries without guilt. Ready to close the door if that is what needs to happen. Ready to be okay either way. This season of isolation was not punishment, it was preparation. And I am grateful for it, because the person I am becoming is worth more than the relationship I lost. And if you cannot celebrate that, you do not belong here. With peace, not bitterness. The person I am now. The investigator read that letter 3 times. Then he carefully folded it, put it back in the notebook, put the notebook back on the nightstand, and he left your apartment exactly as he found it. He sat in his car for an hour processing what he just read. Then he did something that surprised even himself. He called his client. Share this video right now with someone who is in their preparation season and does not realize how strong they are becoming. The conversation lasted 4 minutes. The investigator did not share details, did not violate your privacy more than he already had. He simply said this: I am done with this assignment. You asked me to find out if they are healing or hurting. I found out. They are healing intentionally, powerfully, completely. And they are preparing for the moment you come back, not preparing to take you back, preparing to face you as the person they have become. And whoever that person used to be, they are gone. If you go back to them now, you will not be walking into the relationship you remember. You will be walking into accountability for the relationship you destroyed. Are you ready for that? The line went silent. Then the client asked a question that changed everything. Did they mention me in their journal? In their life, are they thinking about me? And the investigator said something he had never said to a client before. Yes, they are thinking about you. They are praying for you. They are forgiving you, and they are preparing to release you. They know you are coming back. They have seen it in their dreams. They have felt it in their spirit, and they are getting ready not for reconciliation, for closure, for boundaries, for peace. And the question is not whether they are ready. The question is whether you are. The client hung up, has not called back, has not asked for updates, because that conversation gave them exactly what they needed and exactly what they did not want. Confirmation that you are thriving, and evidence that thriving means they are no longer necessary. But let me tell you what has been happening to them since that phone call. They have not been able to sleep, not because of guilt, though that is there, because of realization. They spent months telling themselves a story where you were the villain, where your withdrawal was punishment, where your silence was manipulation. And that story protected them from having to look at their own behavior. But the investigators' words shattered that narrative. And now they are sitting in the wreckage of their own choices, trying to figure out how they became the person who needed to hire someone to spy on someone they claim to have loved. They have been scrolling through old text messages, reading conversations from before things fell apart, seeing the moment you started pulling away. And for the first time, they are seeing what they refused to see then. Your boundaries were not rejection. They were self-preservation. Your distance was not cruelty. It was survival. Your silence was not punishment. It was protection. And they missed every single warning sign because they were too focused on their own needs to see yours. 3 nights ago, they drove to your neighborhood, did not knock on your door, did not even get out of the car. Just sat there for 2 hours, looking at your building, trying to build the courage to go up. But they could not, because they finally understood what the investigator was trying to tell them. You are not the same person they remember. And they are not ready to meet who you have become, because meeting the healed version of you means facing the broken version of themselves. And that is terrifying. Now, let me tell you what you need to understand about your part in this story. You have been in a preparation phase, not for a relationship, for an encounter. Heaven has been getting you ready for a specific moment when someone from your past is going to reappear. And that moment is closer than you think. But here is the beautiful part. The preparation is not to get you back together. The preparation is to make sure you do not fall apart when you see them. To make sure you do not compromise your boundaries when they show up with tears and apologies. To make sure you do not second-guess your growth when they try to convince you that you overreacted or that they have changed. The therapy you have been attending, that was preparation. The books you have been reading, preparation. The boundaries you have been setting, preparation. The letters you have been writing, preparation. The healing timeline you have been documenting, preparation. All of it has been getting you ready for one moment. The moment when the person who broke you stands in front of you and wants back in. And in that moment, you will have a choice. Not based on emotion, not based on history, not based on hope, based on wisdom, based on boundaries, based on the person you have become. Drop the words "I am ready" in the comments if you feel this message is preparing you for something specific. Let me give you the framework for that encounter, because it is coming. First, you do not have to open the door just because they knock. You are allowed to say, "I am not ready for this conversation yet." You are allowed to take time. You are allowed to process before responding. Urgency is manipulation. Wisdom waits. Second, when you do speak to them, let your boundaries speak first. Do not start with emotions. Start with expectations. If we are going to talk, here is what I need from this conversation. Honesty, accountability, respect for my time and my healing. If you cannot give me that, we can end this now. Set the tone. Do not let them set it. Third, watch their response to your boundaries. That will tell you everything you need to know. If they respect them, there might be room for dialogue. If they push back, guilt trip, or try to bypass them, that is all the information you need. Boundaries reveal character. Honor the revelation. Fourth, do not defend your growth if they accuse you of changing. Say, "You are right. I did change, I had to, and I am not going back to who I was to make you comfortable." Your transformation does not need their approval. Your healing does not need their validation. Fifth, remember why you started healing. It was not to prepare for their return. It was to free yourself from the version of you that needed them. And if, in the process of this encounter, you start feeling that old pull, that old need, that old hope, Pause, breathe, reconnect with the person you have become. That person does not need them anymore. That person is whole without them. Sixth, be prepared for them to have changed too. Growth is not unique to you. They might show up different, humbled, healed, accountable. And if that is real, if it is sustained, if it is proven over time, maybe there is something to rebuild. But do not confuse one good conversation with lasting change. Character is revealed over months, not moments. Seventh, trust your peace. If something feels off, it is. If your spirit checks you, honor it. If you feel pressure to decide quickly, slow down. The right thing will still be right tomorrow. The wrong thing will reveal itself if you give it time. Eighth, protect what you built. You did not heal to go back. You healed to go forward. And forward might include them if they can match your growth. But forward does not mean backward. Do not sacrifice your boundaries to revive a relationship that died because there were no boundaries. Ninth, know when to close the door. Some conversations need to happen so you can move on, not so you can go back. There is power in saying, I heard you, I forgive you, I release you, but I do not want you back in my life. And that is final. Closure is not cruel. Closure is clarity. 10th, celebrate yourself no matter what happens. Whether this encounter leads to restoration or finality, you showed up whole, you showed up healed, you showed up boundaried, and that is the win, not them coming back, not them staying away. You being okay either way. Before we go to prayer, I want to give you 3 declarations to speak over your preparation season. Say these out loud every morning for the next 2 weeks. Let your voice carry authority. Let your spirit align with truth. Declaration 1. I am being prepared for something specific. My healing is not random. My growth is not wasted. Everything I am learning right now is equipping me for an encounter that is coming. And I will be ready. Declaration 2. I do not need anyone from my past to validate my present. I do not need their approval to move forward. I do not need their acknowledgement to know I have grown. My transformation is between me and God, and that is enough. Declaration 3. When the moment comes, I will not shrink. I will not people please. I will not compromise my boundaries to avoid discomfort. I will show up as the person I have become, and I will honor the work it took to get here. Now let me pray for you. And as I pray, I need you to receive these words as prophetic declaration over your life. Father, I come before you on behalf of every person who is in a preparation season right now. You know what they are getting ready for. You know who is about to re-enter their life. You know the encounter that is coming, and we thank you that you have been faithful to prepare them. Thank you for the therapy sessions that felt hard, but were healing. Thank you for the books that spoke truth when they needed it most. Thank you for the boundaries they have set, even when it felt uncomfortable. Thank you for the tears that watered the seeds of their transformation. Thank you for the isolation that felt lonely but was necessary. Thank you for every single thing that has brought them to this moment where they are ready. God, I pray for strength for the encounter that is coming. Give them clarity in the midst of emotion. Give them wisdom in the midst of nostalgia. Give them courage in the midst of pressure. Do not let them shrink back to who they used to be. Do not let them compromise what they have built. Do not let them forget why they had to leave in the first place. I pray that when the person from their past shows up, they will see clearly, not through the lens of who that person used to be, but through the lens of who they are showing themselves to be now. Give supernatural discernment. Let them see past words into character. Let them hear what is not being said. Let them feel what is being hidden, and God. Whether this encounter leads to restoration or finality, let them walk away whole. Let them walk away proud of how they showed up. Let them walk away knowing they honored themselves, and you in the process. Do not let the outcome determine their worth. Let their growth determine their response. I speak protection over their peace. Let nothing and no one steal what they have fought so hard to gain. I speak clarity over confusion. Let them know exactly what to do when the moment comes. I speak courage over fear. Let them stand firm even when standing firm is hard. We declare that their preparation season has not been in vain. Everything they have learned will be used. Everything they have overcome will serve them. Everything they have become will be exactly what they need when the moment arrives. In Jesus' name, we seal this prayer. Amen. If that prayer landed in your spirit, type Amen below. Let your agreement be recorded. And if you